4 outs. Seriously, 4 outs. That's all Alek Manoah lasted Saturday night, before the entire conversation around him changed. And if you watched that game live, you probably know exactly what I mean. Not the stats. The feeling. Because yeah, the numbers were brutal. 1 1/3 innings. 9 runs. 8 earned. Against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Fine. You can look that up anywhere. That's not why people are still talking about it. It was the atmosphere. Like somewhere around the 2nd inning he pitched, Dodger Stadium got weirdly uncomfortable. Not loud. Not angry. Just quiet in a bad way. You know that baseball silence where fans stop reacting because everybody kind of realizes the same thing at once? This dude's got absolutely nothing tonight. And man, the Dodgers looked on everything. Mookie Betts looked comfortable. Freddie Freeman looked comfortable. Even the foul balls looked comfortable. That's usually when you know things are about to get ugly. Nothing had life on it. Fastball looked flat. Breaking stuff just kind of floated there. At one point, Will Smith got jammed and still hit a ball hard the other way. I remember seeing that and thinking, all right, yeah, this could get ugly fast. And honestly, the game started feeling long, too. You ever watch a baseball game where you can feel everybody wanting it to end already? That's what this felt like. And maybe it was just me, but even the crowd sounded weird on TV after a while. Like people didn't really know how to react anymore. Then the radar gun flashed 84. Dude. I actually laughed for a second because I thought the stadium gun was messed up. No joke. I paused the broadcast and rewound it. Because there's just no way Alek Manoah is suddenly throwing 84 miles an hour. But there it was. And maybe I'm wrong. Seriously, maybe I am. But once the velo dropped, it just felt over. And you could kind of feel the whole stadium realizing it at the same time. Because pitchers get shelled all the time. Especially against the Dodgers. That happens. But when the velocity disappears too, that's the scary part. Even the TV booth sounded awkward after a while. At one point, the broadcast literally stayed on Manoah's face for like 5 straight seconds. They barely even showed the batter. That never happens unless things are bad. And there was another shot where he walked behind the mound and just stared at the dirt for a second. Not even that long. But long enough where you notice it. And if you've watched baseball long enough, you know that look. Guys searching. Mechanics. Confidence. Anything. And man, I hated watching that. Seriously. I'm not even some huge Manoah fan either. But still. 2 years ago, this guy looked like a franchise ace. All-star. Cy Young finalist. Finished 3rd in the American League voting. 3rd. And honestly, what people loved wasn't even just the results. It was the attitude. Worked fast. Talked trash. Pitched pissed off. Toronto fans absolutely loved that version of him. Most baseball fans did. Baseball's just better when pitchers have attitude. Now he's headed to AAA Salt Lake. Just like that. Saturday night disaster. Sunday morning demotion. And yeah, officially, the Los Angeles Angels said they needed the roster spot because Grayson Rodriguez was coming back. Okay. Fine. That's the official explanation. But come on. Nobody watched that outing and thought this was only about roster flexibility. Not after the velocity drop. Not after the body language. And definitely not after the Dodgers spent the whole night looking ridiculously comfortable in the box. Once hitters stop respecting your stuff, things go sideways fast. Especially veteran teams. And honestly, I don't even know what the Angels are trying to do anymore. Every season feels exactly the same. Patch holes. Hope something works. Repeat. At some point, fans stop getting mad at players and start getting frustrated with the whole organization. And from the outside, the Angels don't even feel bad anymore. They just feel stuck. Not rebuilding. Not really competing. Just kind of there. And then, because baseball Twitter is baseball Twitter, people immediately dragged Paul Skenes into the conversation too. Which honestly made me roll my eyes a little. Because nobody's seriously saying Paul Skenes is becoming Alek Manoah. That's ridiculous. Skenes is still absurd. Still probably the nastiest young pitcher in baseball. But Sunday against the Philadelphia Phillies, he finally looked human for a few innings. Bryce Harper got him. A couple other Phillies hitters got him too. 5 earned runs. And immediately, the internet started spiraling. Because baseball fans always do this. One rough outing, and suddenly everybody thinks they figured something out. Same as always. But honestly, the comparison isn't really about Skenes. It's about baseball. This sport always adjusts eventually. Teams study everything now. Release points. Pitch usage. Sequencing. Tiny habits. How long you hold the glove. Where your eyes go before certain pitches. Honestly, baseball people are kinda insane with this stuff now. And eventually hitters catch on. For Manoah, maybe the league caught up all at once. For Skenes, probably just one bad night. At least I think so. Who knows? Baseball's weird. But I'll say this. Watching Manoah Saturday stopped being funny pretty fast. At first, social media was roasting him. Velocity memes. 84 miles per hour jokes. Clips everywhere. Normal internet stuff. But then the outing kept dragging. The camera kept cutting back to him. And after a while, it didn't even feel like baseball content anymore. It just felt uncomfortable. Like you were watching somebody slowly realize he couldn't do the thing he used to do naturally anymore. And man, that's rough. People outside baseball don't always understand how brutal pitching is mentally. There's nowhere to hide. No clock running. No teammate taking pressure off you every possession. Just you standing out there while 40,000 people slowly realize you don't have it that night. That's brutal. And maybe everybody's overreacting right now. Seriously. Maybe Salt Lake helps him reset. Maybe the velo comes back. Wouldn't be the first time baseball made everybody look stupid. The sport does that constantly. I don't know, man. That was rough.